Hey Flosstube, I'm Michelle and this is my romantic tangle. It is March 15th, 2021, and lately it has been like in the old movies where they show the passage of time by the pages on the calendar just flipping past so quickly they're almost a blur. I did a lot of not stitching because I had real life going on, and then I tried to catch up in a hurry, so I've got stuff to show you surprisingly. This is when I am dead and in my grave, and I've got my needle and thread still sticking out of it. I love this. I love my little sampler with the skull on it. This work my friends may have when I am dead and in my grave. And I think I have 2 more alphabets and my name and the date. I have measured and remeasured on this, and I am looking at it, and I am just scared I might not have enough fabric to finish it, but I've got some contingency plans in case I don't. This shouldn't happen. I mean, I know close to what count my fabric is. I know how to measure things. I figured the stitch count of the piece. This should not be stressing me out like this, but you know it is. So whatever happens down here happens down here. I might selectively leave out a row or two, and that makes way more sense than starting over at this point because I'm halfway done. Almost halfway done. And then I did a little more work on Morning Lake. I filled in some corner down here and some sky up here, and I just... 4 strands on 18 count Aida does not make me happy, and I think the problem when I'm working down here, I don't know why I'm stitching this in hand. It is a decision that was made late at night during Stitch Mania, either last year or the year before. I could put extra fabric around the edges and put it in a Q-snap, but for some reason I don't. So when I have the fabric rolled and I'm stitching on this side, it's fine. When I'm over on this side, it drives me batty. And I'm left-handed, so that's probably the reverse for most of you. If you've, other than putting it in a Q-snap, if still working in hand, there's a way to make it easier when I have this excess fabric hanging off the side, let me know. I think at this point I am so close to finishing it, and I realize there's a substantial amount left to do, but it's like I committed myself to stitching it in hand, so therefore I have to keep doing that, even though I start a beacon at daybreak in hand and put it on a frame and have no problem with that. My thought processes with my stitching sometimes are, I don't know why I always do what I do.
Sorry for interrupting.
That's fine. I'm just waiting for you to go so I can pick up the next thing. And first evening in their new home. Or in their own home, or whatever this is called. I love this. I am stitching tablecloth. So what I did, the tablecloth goes out to here, and then it dips in, and then it goes back out. So I am making efforts to do the outer edge of the tablecloth, so then I know how much tablecloth there is left to stitch. And because as you're following in one color, I needed a bigger frame than what I was working on. And I remembered I had this thing that I don't know if it came from an estate sale or where. It's working for this project. If it was a Q-snap, I would be happy as a clown. But it is not a Q-snap. It is one of these. And it has the PV. This is the one I was working on before I went up to that one. No, I don't know where the other piece is. I took it off to put it on that one because life. It has the PVC connectors, so where Q-snaps, you can slide the snap to take your work off of it. With these, you have to pry, and I don't like that. I feel like I'm either going to damage my fingertips or break a fingernail or hurt the stitches, so I have these, so I use them. I can't remember if I bought them in the early days of my cross-stitching, or I know I found a bunch at an estate sale at one point and a quilter's rummage sale at one point, so I might have bought these on purpose. I might have bought them mixed in with actual Q-snaps. Years and years ago, it doesn't matter, but I would not recommend spending money to buy these new. If you get them cheap somewhere else, that's different. And then there's this. And I didn't know if I was going to show you this because this is for a video, an upcoming video. It is Noise of Waterfall, one of the new Riolis kits, and the company sent it to me because they're sponsoring a video on stitching on 10 count Ada, but I mean, I don't see why I need to keep this secret. So this is what I have done in 3 evenings of stitching. I love this stuff. I am having fun with this. And it's big. I need a bigger Q-snap. It is going to be huge. And it has so much thread. Look at this, guys. This is the wool acrylic blend, which if you watch my videos, you know I love. It makes my heart go pitty-pat. And I am keeping my cards in this cheap metal basket that I bought at the Dollar Tree because I can set them in it beside me on the couch while I'm stitching and they won't slide out between the cushions or go anywhere else. So it's one of those little tiny adaptations that can make your stitching way easier that I tend not to do because I forget, even though this basket has been sitting in my sewing bag right next to me the whole time. So it's keeping track of the floss because my nightmare is that I lose one of these cards. Only did it once and found it quickly. And a little bit of knitting. I am working on my socks still. I think I've showed you these a few times. Almost done. I've got like an inch more of ribbing, but I only knit on these like 5 or 10 minutes at a time because I'm almost but not quite in the mood to knit. So I don't want to pull out a real challenging project and I don't have the patience to stick with this. And I have been wondering, why lately we go to the Dollar Tree to get snacks for the kids. And I always walk through Crafter Square because you do. That's kind of like when my mom used to take me grocery shopping. You'd walk through that little sad toy aisle at the grocery store just because it was there. Crafter Square is much better than the little sad toy aisle, and I have money. I'm a grown-up. I can buy myself stuff. So I've been buying the worsted yarn 2 skeins at a time, and it kind of didn't make sense to me because I have yarn. It's pretty. I like the color. I want to knit with it. I'm doing throwaway projects. This is my second pair of socks with their yarn. They're worsted weight. They're warm to wear in the house on cold nights while I'm stitching. And there are lots of colors. I think I'm doing throwaway projects because I'm not taking yarn from my stash that was better intended for something else. I'm not doing anything where it matters. I'm making functional socks, but if I don't finish them, or if I drop a stitch, or if something else happens, these don't matter. I want to say it's almost like doodling in a notebook or something. I'm just slightly, barely keeping myself busy on a throwaway project, and I'm kind of curious about that because I guess I've noticed myself doing that before, but I've never paid attention to it. Now what I should do is I should get into my yarn stash and pull out the dishcloth cotton I bought at that estate sale last summer and make myself some dishcloths. Or I can make more socks. It does not matter. This is low stress knitting, low stress crafting. And I wrote things down. So I found a new to me YouTube channel, Cup of Stitches, and she is doing these amazing beaded embellished ornaments with gems. I don't know what you would call, it's not mirrors, I don't think. They're elaborate, they are fancy, and they are gorgeous, and she's fun to watch. She also is working on a sampler of perfume bottles, and if you watch my stuff, you know I love the way that DMC and the different solid color flosses can make these fantastic shading effects. And the perfume bottles, I love them. And I also enjoy, of course, her other projects, the style of her videos. She's working on a few things I've got in my own stash, which is, when I'm watching Flosstube, either I love someone's personality and the stories they have to tell, or a lot of times the first thing that hooks me is they're working on something that either I am working on or that I want to work on. I also found a channel called Gettin Stitchy. She does little YouTube shorts. They're less than a minute long, and they show how to free motion quilt different motifs, which I know not all of you do free motion quilting on a domestic sewing machine, but if you do, these are great because they give you just enough to show you how it is done without making you sit through a whole long video. It's like a quick look at this and then try it on your sewing machine. And if I had something ready to go and my sewing machine set up for free motion quilting, I would be trying this stuff now. Also, I found Pinker and Punkin Quilting and Stitching, which is a blog. I'm following her on Instagram already, which is how I found her. So obviously I've seen her stuff before. I just didn't remember or know that I had. And she has all of these amazing little cross stitch freebies on her site. She just did a new salt box house for spring, which set me off looking through her blog at all the other gorgeous, cute little stuff she has done. And she has got Halloween salt box houses. There are 3 of them. They are amazing. I am going to link to the page where those are. Obviously, you can click on the blog header to get up to the new stuff and the spring stuff, but I'm going to print out the Halloween stuff and save it for Flossoween. I am loving that we have more hours of daylight. I am a total night owl. I absolutely want it to be dark and quiet at midnight and 2 a.m. But getting later in the day with sunlight, one of my favorite times in the summer is that, like if I am out in the sewing room, which doesn't have artificial light, and sometimes I kind of ridiculously push it to see how late I can stay out there puttering with things. But then I have to remember that the rest of the building to get out to the house has totally unlit stairs, and they are not fun in almost pitch darkness, and I shouldn't do that. I need to string a light. I have got a light. I need to plug it in and hang it and use it. Or get one of those little pushy light things at the Dollar Tree or something. And I love in the summer going out down to the river with the kids, and there's that point where there's still enough light, there's still enough light, there's still enough light, oh, we better get home now. So I like the longer days. I love the longer days. And they are just, they're making me feel really happy right now. I've had the rug pulled out from under me and been derailed a couple of times over the past couple of weeks, and that is one of my major problems as a stitcher. Is life will happen, it will pull me away from my projects, and then I don't get back to what I was doing before that happened, which is why, one of the many reasons why there are so many unfinished quilting projects and embroidery projects. And I have actually, with my planner, and I've kept myself on track better this time. Part of it might be, you know, I have the Riola Sal that I am so excited about, and my little bitty rotation going here, so I guess I'm a little less distractible. I've got a bunch of stuff I want to get filmed and share with you. I am having so much fun with the waterfall. I got money for my birthday, and mybobbin.com had a sale. So I've got 8 kits coming, which it is too early to stock the post office, but I am so excited about them. I'm getting the new Riola's Castle. Let me know, are the longer days something that makes you happy? The late days of summer, as we got the longer days, it's still hot, is my favorite time of the year. And with the stupid wildfires last year, we went from super hot summer to fall, and there was none of that medium stuff. So I'm hoping this year is going to be better. I'm Michelle. This is my Romantic Tangle, and I'll be back with you again with more videos soon.